Shalom. This morning I'm reading in John chapter 7, where Yeshua goes up to Jerusalem for the Feast of Tabernacles. And it says here, I'm reading from the NIV, after his brothers had left for the feast, so they were in Galilee, he went also, that is Yeshua went also, not publicly, but in secret. Now at the feast, that is a feast of Sukkot in Jerusalem, the Jews were watching for him and asking, "Where is that man?" Among the crowds, there was a widespread whispering about him. Some said, "He is a good man." Others replied, "No, he deceives the people." But no one would say anything publicly about him for fear of the Jews. Now we have to be careful of the word Jew here, because the crowds are also Jews. And Yeshua, as we know, is also Jews, as he says even in John chapter 4, earlier in this book, that salvation is of the Jews. And also we know from John chapter 1, it says he came into his own, and his own received him not. So we have to really attend, and I'll do a different video at another time on the term Hayudaioi in the Gospel of John, the Jews. But here we must recognize that John is expecting us to be sophisticated and careful readers. The Jews just means a religious leadership kind of cabal, a group that is kind of a gang mentality, territorial, because we see in the Gospel of John a contrast between the Galileans and the Judeans and the Samaritans, right? It's very much geographically divided. And those concepts of where a person is from is used as a means of judging them prematurely, of course. That's prejudging people based on geography. And so these people are privileging their territorialism and religious power in Judea. That's what's going on. And so John uses that term in this manner here. But in verse 12, among the crowds, these are also Jews in today's term. They're not affiliated necessarily with the territorial defense or protection or policing of religious ideas, but are there to worship the God of Israel, because they are in fact Yehudim also. They are of the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But now look at what it says. They're asking, "Where is that man?" But it says, among the crowds, widespread whispering about him. He's a good man. No, he deceives people. And then there's a fear of being canceled, right? Like in our culture today, cancel culture. There's kind of a cancel culture. People would not say anything publicly about him because of fear. So people saying a positive thing about Yeshua, people saying a negative thing about Yeshua, and then people not even coming out in the open and saying anything definitively out of fear, right? Out of fear. So speech being squashed out of fear. We need to identify the context here is one of religious oppression, coercion, intimidation. And even today, if you went to Israel, you went to the Wailing Wall, the Kotel, and started just talking about Jesus, you're going to see real quick what will happen. You'll be escorted out of there very, very quickly. So this is a context that each one of us needs to internalize. What do I say about Yeshua? What do I say about Yeshua? Do I have a positive view, a negative view? And frankly, there is a marketplace. There are thousands and thousands of books, and I would guess millions and millions of dollars made every year of people writing books about Yeshua who are somewhere in this whispering conversation. Now they're doing it publicly, but they're doing it for money. They're selling Yeshua. The question is, do you know who Yeshua is truly? And if you don't, that should be the top priority for you. Find Yeshua. And the Feast of Tabernacles, as we learned from John chapter 1, he came and he tabernacled among us. It's a wonderful place to start. Please share your comments below. Shalom.